There are at the moment 12 classes. Let me show it to you. Okay, so it's just my opinion. I'm gonna go through fast through all the classes and explain you guys the playstyle and PvP or PvE focused. But it's just my opinion. I don't have experience or like I didn't play all the classes, so just from watching and playing against those classes and with those classes in PvP and PvE, I can tell you those things. First, we have the warrior class. We have 3 subclasses. Warriors are, of course, melee based. We have the Berserker. Berserker is kind of mediocre in PvP, and in PvE, depending on content, he excels. For example, like on raid bosses where you have to cut through stuff and so on. It's kind of like Monster Hunter where you have, for example, to cut a tail or something. He has stuff like that on his spell. His combos are fast, as you can see here. It's not a slow melee class. Also a lot AoE based. Like 90% of the spells are really AoE and pretty strong. But not the best class in damage for PvP, or like not the best class in PvP, a really good class in PvE. Then we have the Warlord. A really good support class in PvE. Fucking tanky. PvP though, oh my god, it's if you have a Warlord as an opponent, he can CC chain you like 99% of the time. So strong class at the moment in PvP. A good support in PvE, but not a DPS class in PvE. In PvP, obviously, if you can CC someone like chain CC, someone, you will be able to kill him, even if you just do less damage than other classes. Then we have the Destroyer, one of the least picked classes for this beta, but a really hard-hitting. I mean, from all the fighter classes, I'm pretty sure this class hits harder than the other classes, but really slow though, as you can see on the hammer already. Has AoEs, and the identity spell is one of the identity spells you can charge really fast if you combo it right, and yeah, just really strong in PvE. Also, his hammer has his abilities have impairment. I don't know if that's the right word, but like bosses have a certain purple bar which is visible on most of the bosses, not on guardians, but on them it's hidden, and certain spells decrease that bar. And if that bar empties, the boss gonna be stunned for a while and vulnerable against damage. And certain spells can do that and reduce the bar, as I mentioned. And Destroyer spells are like insane, and they reduce the bar pretty hard, much more than other classes can do. So that's a really good class in PvE, and in PvP, it's not the best class. It's kind of like maybe the same tier as Blaster, maybe a little bit better than Blaster. Let's go with the fighter classes. We have here the fighter, also melee, all female. By the way, gender locked. Everything is gender locked here. We have the let me see. Yeah, this is the Battle Master. Battle Master is the faster one, like heavily combo based and really agile. It's really good in PvP. In PvE, it's gonna be like the positioning is the key here. You're kind of squishy, and but for that you can, in a short amount of time, you can dish out a lot of damage if you combo it right. You can see here everything is fucking fast with this class. In PvP, you can just hold an enemy in the air for like 3-4 seconds if you combo right. This is the Infighter. Definitely slower than the Battle Master, and the abilities hits a lot harder, as you can see here. As I mentioned, the Battle Master is combo based. Infighter is kind of like get the most damage in a few seconds and then get out. I'm also pretty sure the cooldowns are a lot longer than I mean compared to Battle Master. So this is Infighter, the slower, hard-hitting one. but still not slow as Destroyer or Blaster. A little bit faster. Then we have the new and the last class of fighter from the fighters, which is the Soul Master. Kinda strong in, actually really strong in PvP. In PvE, I am not sure. I think maybe mediocre to like okay. This class has melee spells, also range spells, kind of like mid-range fighter, and is a kind of mix between the Battle Master, which is a fast class combo based, and a little bit range added to that class. So at the moment, pretty strong. Like I would go for this class over over Battle Master. Kind of feels for me a little bit the same, but yeah, but definitely can't do like insane combos like Battle Master. The pro about this class is just the range. Like you can use melee and then also use some range spells. Then we have the Gunner class, the Devil Hunter. This one has 3 different weapons you can swap during the fight. Dual pistols for fast attacks, medium range. Then we have the shotgun for like stronger attacks but close range, and we have the sniper here for slow attacks but long range. So depending on situation you can swap, but also every time you swap you have different skill sets depending on the weapon, but not all the weapons have like the same amount of skills you can choose or use. This class is like mediocre to really good depending on how you play this class in PvP, and a really good class in PvE. So this one is like kinda the, not the best in PvP, also not the best in PvE, but you can play everything with this class, and depending on your skill you can also excel in one of those stuff. Here we have Blaster, my favorite class. Fucking slow. I think this is the class with the lowest mobility in game. If you really pick like viable skills for PvE or PvP, you will have maximum 2 mobility spells, and one of them is the basic space dodge. But this class deals the most damage in PvE, but it is really hard to play in PvP, and it's all about positioning. And you can get CC down without doing anything if you have the wrong opponent. Because of the slow movement speed and the really high damage, as I mentioned, there are gonna be some boss fights which will be really difficult, especially if you do tower, which is solo based, and you have to dodge a lot, you have to kite a lot and run around, and to get to see, to use the opportunity like 1 second when the boss can't do anything to do so, or to cast some spells. Otherwise you're gonna get killed, because most of the spells have long animation times. And last but not least, from the Gunner class we have the Hawkeye, which is one of the new one. This class can go stealth. It's kind of like the Soul Master from the fighter, not really balanced, but they're gonna balance it after the CBT. The annoying thing about this class, I can tell it to you already at the beginning here, is the hawk. You can hear it already. It makes that weird sound. I hope it's gonna get removed or like reworked for the OBT, but it's really annoying. So this class has a really high range, a lot of mobility, some burst damage, but it's all about like constant DPS with this class most of the time. And his ultimate spell or identity spell is like fucking insane. So it's one of the best classes in PvP. In PvE, I would say it's an okay class. It's not the worst class, but it's okay. It's not the best class. But yeah, this class has the mobility of the Devil Hunter, and the attack speed, movement of a fighter class, like of a Battle Master class. Okay, so then the last main class are the magician classes, and those are like 3 subclasses here. The first one is Arcana, kind of like I would call it kind of like an assassin, because it's really hard to hit her. She has a lot of invincibility, a lot of iframes, and a lot of CC immunity spells. Really strong. I would say the strongest class at the moment in PvP if you play her good. She is squishy though, so if you make a mistake you're gonna get punished, but if you're like a pro PvP player, go for this class. This is insane class in PvP, especially because of iframes and CC immunity. But the card system is like not easy to understand, especially if you don't know the language. You know, like you have like 2 random cards out of a pool which gonna be selected randomly, and you have to use it, kinda. So yeah, it's a skill-based class, but the strongest class at the moment in PvP, in my opinion, really close to Warlord. In PvE, it's okay. It's not a bad class, but also not the strongest one. Then we have the Summoner. It's an annoying class, same like Warlord in PvP. Those creatures which you can summon, they can block projectiles. Sorry. Yeah, so basically you can block a lot of projectiles in PvP. You can kite around, summon some stuff, and like let those stuff kill the enemies. The problem is though, it's even if the class is a summoner class, the things you summon, they only last for a couple of seconds, and it's not like you can have them all the time up. So it's still skill based. Don't waste them and so on. PvE wise, this is one of the stronger class. I'm pretty sure the damage is really high. The burst damage is insane on this class, but not like a destroyer or a blaster or Berserker, I think. But yeah, for a range class, one of the nuking classes here. Okay, so the last one is the Bard. Bard, PvP, solo, skill-based. I would say mediocre. Not the worst one, not the best one. But in 3 vs 3 team-based PvP is a really strong class. Same goes for PvE. This class is gonna make a lot of stuff easier. You have different ways to go with the Bard. You can go for a shielding Bard, like just giving shields as much as possible and reducing damage. Or you can go for an offensive Bard, like if you want to play support. Offensive boosting Bard, like with crit chance buffs, attack speed buffs, and so on. PvE is doable solo. It's not the class where you can be like leveling up fast, really fast, or like will be able to clear content solo really fast. But one of the most wanted class for group content. But just gonna warn you guys, all those contents are doable without a Bard. It's not like you have to have a Bard for Guardian raids or for I don't know what else. Yeah, that's it, guys. If you have any questions, I'm gonna upload this thing here on YouTube, and if you have any questions on stream, feel free to ask. Thanks. Oh my god, I need to drink something.